kwa mashule zao.
Now staying the same, the issue of drought and climate change, Kenya's northeastern Borana community is set to benefit from a cutting-edge documentary project highlighting the use of technology and local action in the fight against climate change. This is what we want to talk about right now, fighting climate change with technology. And joining me in studio right now is Nicolas Plan. I hope I got it right.
Yes, yeah.
Well, he is the CEO of Rise Our Wild Heritage. Thank you so much for making time for us. So maybe you could start by highlighting what the project is all about before we continue.
Yeah, the idea of Rise Our World Heritage, it's a world documentary collection in order to show some solutions to fight climate change and preserve biodiversity. And the idea is really to influence the public and private decision makers in order that they implement the right solutions, with technologies, with local knowledge and with science.
So talk to us about some of those solutions.
Yeah.
What are they?
The idea, first we did the first episode of Rise in Kenya. So since 2 weeks we were with the Borans community, not so far with the Samburu, we just here just before. And here they are facing a big drought and the desertifications. In this area it has not raining since 4 years. So it's a big change for all the pastoralist communities. And the idea here, they change a little bit from cattle to camels in order to face the desertification and the drought, since camels can drink less water than the cows or the goats and are more resilient to drought. And it's a very nice solution because we see here it's a solution both in terms of adapting to climate change, in terms of mitigation also, and in terms of preserving the biodiversity.
Right. You have covered the issue of climate change for years now. I believe you mentioned around 10 years. From where you started and where we are, do you think we're making progress or we're sort of going retrogressing?
Yeah, I think the situation is getting a little bit worse and worse. As a scientist warned us since 1960. But what is very good today is that we see that more solutions are implementing on the ground, and people are really facing these problems, and they are very resilient, and they try to implement the solutions with either technologies, nature-based solution, or with science. And in this part of Kenya, in northern eastern Kenya, in Isiolo County, what is very interesting is that people have not a lot of technology, so they are trying to change with in harmony with the environment. So they change from cattle to camels, but after they need also some technology to help, like solar water pump systems, which are great solutions, great technological solutions to support nature-based solutions.
From where you sit, do you think you faced any challenges in implementing these solutions, especially when it comes to the community and teaching them how to use the technology?
Yeah, I think what was very interesting in your subject just before is really that we need to give to students a lot of knowledge about these subjects in order that they can come back and help the different communities to face these problems. For example, we were in the documentary with a young woman who is an electrical engineer called Janet from Schneider Electric. And she is passionate about electrical engineering, and she trained herself to become this electrical engineer, and now she's implementing a lot of solar water pump systems, and she's now training also a lot of students on this specific subject. And it's exactly what we need to do, put a lot of energy and effort on training, and also knowing we need to know which type of solutions we need to implement, and mixing technology, science and local knowledge, nature-based solution. Yeah. It's really a mix of these different things.
All right. When you talk about solutions, especially right now with the drought ongoing, what we are facing in the country, most people tend to go for the short-term solutions. And it's high time we think about long-term solutions. Do you think the technological solutions that you're providing right now will sort of, is it long-term or is it short-term? Will they last for a while?
Yeah, I think we really need both. Today we really need quick solutions in order to face the already big effects of climate change going like the severe drought you were mentioning. And after we have to put these solutions quickly, but in order that they have a very big impact in the long-term range. So if we speak about solar water pump systems, it has directly an impact, a big impact for the pastoral communities, because it allows them to have a lot of water for their livestock. And the idea, it will normally a solar water pump system maintain, it lasts for 20 years, 25 years. So it's a very nice solution for the long term. And also to change from cattle to camels, it can be a nice solution for the long term perspective. Yeah.
Okay. You know, apart from technology and the solutions that are being implemented, it's up to you and I to make a difference.
Yeah.
From where you sit, what do you think needs to be done? Not by the government, not by organizations, but the people, because we're the ones who feel the effect of climate change.
What I really see since 10 years that I am on this subject of climate change and biodiversity, it's really everyone can make a difference. So me, for example, I do documentary because I really think I can have a bigger impact by doing these documentaries and embarking with me decision makers, public and private ones. But maybe other people we met, like the pastoral, the herders who are herding the camels, they can also make a difference by switching from cattle to camels, but also going to different areas in order to have some areas, some nice areas to feed their livestock. And maybe other people like the students, like an electrical engineer can really make a difference. And it will, we are all on the same boat. For example, me, I live in the Alps. In the Alps, we have a lot of problem of drought also, less severe than here, but the whole world is impacted by climate change, and we really need to find solutions together. And it's really what I like in this subject. It's we are all together, and we need to find some solutions together.
And it's a good thing you actually brought up that issue, because you've covered different countries. What solutions do you think, apart from the technological ones, that Kenya or Africa in general as a continent can borrow from other nations that are implementing that is actually working?
The idea is really to see with these nature-based solutions how we can better adapt and how we can better mitigate climate change. In Africa, it's in some part where we are in the pastoralist community, we have not a lot of greenhouse gases emissions. The subject is more to adapt, and how we can adapt. Maybe it's to change the crops, to have crops that are more resilient to droughts and to desertifications, like switching from cattle to camels, but maybe in crops, switching from different crops that can grow with less water. And it can be a lot of different solutions. We will go to Madagascar beginning of April for the second episode of the RISE documentary collection. And there we will see some solution with mangrove to fight against coastal erosion and also to mitigate climate change and to bring more fishes for the fishermen communities who live there. So it's really all these solutions, when you mix technology, nature-based solutions, you have a lot of positive effects and you limit the negative effects.
The mangrove solution sounds interesting. Maybe you can elaborate on it.
Yes, the mangrove solution is a very interesting solution because it's a nature-based solution. The Vezo communities in Madagascar, they plant some mangroves in order to face coastal erosions and that their house is not destroyed by sea level rise. And they can build some dig. But if they build some digs, it's very difficult for them because they need a lot of money. And when they plant mangrove, it's even a better solution because they can bring solutions to coastal erosion, but they can also have more fishes to fish because mangrove act as a fish nursery. And also it's good for mitigation because mangrove captures a lot of CO2 emission. So it's really a win-win solutions for everybody.
And how much will it cost? Because with the challenge that we seem to be having, especially when it comes to fighting climate change in this part of the world, is financing. How will that project, especially the mangrove one, cost?
Yeah, but the mangrove one is very nice because it costs not a lot of money, because it's just to planting some trees, and it's even the local community who have not a lot of money, we implement directly the solution from their side, and so they plant the mangroves, and after they see that it's growing a lot of positive effects for the protection from coastal erosion, but also for a lot of fish. So it costs not a lot compared to a very technological, to only technological solutions. Yeah. Here, what we want to show, it's by mixing nature, technology, and science, you really have important solutions that maximize your positive effects, and that the cost is not really high.
All right, your final thoughts, even as we conclude.
I think I'm really positive and optimistic on this subject without being naive, and I think we really need to be all together in this fight against climate change and preservation of biodiversity, and it's really everyone can act and can implement these solutions.
It's all about you and I, right?
Yeah,
we are the ones
exactly.
who make a difference. Well, thank you so much for your contribution, Nicolas Pla, who is the CEO of RISE, our World Heritage. Thank you so much for your time. All right. You are watching Africa Speaks. We take a short break. I'll be back with more updates. Here is Destination Africa.